2 points separate Sebastian Job and Tom Ward as we head to the final round of the 2015 Season 1 Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship. Coverage will start next here on RaceSpotTV.
The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing.com has officially begun.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it into 4, who's going to be at the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
All roads in the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Series heads to the outskirts of Sao Paulo. It heads to the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, where just 2 points separate Sebastian Job and Tom Ward in the championship battle. Qualifying already well underway, about 5 minutes remaining as we welcome you here on RaceSpotTV to the conclusion of our 3rd season of coverage. And don't forget, the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Championship lives on RaceSpotTV throughout 2015. As we say, qualifying is underway already. There you can see then your top drivers with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the play clock. It is currently Job with a storming advantage right now over Tom Ward. 1 and 2 in the championship, sat 1 and 2 as far as qualifications goes. There you can see Tom Ward as he's working himself down the back straightaway. The Reta Opista down towards turn 4 and 5. The Desega de Lego. Will Vincent along with Rachel Whiteford. And well, Rachel, we've got ourselves a championship battle on our hands, but we need to remember that there is a 3rd person here who could really come into play. He's not in the championship running, but he can make a difference, and that of course is Graham Cowart in that 00 car, right now scored in the 6th place as far as qualifying is concerned.
Yeah, that Black Lotus machine of Carroll is certainly no stranger to being at the front of this very aggressive field. He's, of course, not run all the races this season, so he's out of contention, but we know already he's a race winner, multiple race winner. That car can definitely get in the way of Job and Ward's championship fight, so could be really interesting to see what happens today.
Now here's the interesting point, Rachel. Job 151.852. He is fastest by a long way. Ward is just a 5/1000th of a second ahead of Roderick Savidovic. There we can see Tom Ward then working himself out of Yun Sao down that long front straightaway once again. Then Savidovic to Kane, less than a 10th of a second. Kane to Avery, 100th of a second. And Kane to Avery is about 15/1000ths of a second, just 2/1000ths of a second, separating Avery and Adcock. Then Carroll a further 1/1000th of a second back, right on board with Tom Ward then as he continues his charge, trying to get himself to the top of the timing stands, but it's not going to happen this time.
No, not yet, but he is getting onto a hot lap here, Will. He set himself up early out of Young Carroll, so crossing the line, this will be a timed lap for Graham Carroll, so he could well improve from that 7th position. We know, though, he is very good in traffic, so I might not stop him with this exploded car on the first corner of the TRSs. That one's been cleared now. That's probably distracting for the drivers there, as he's getting a good tow from the back of Adcock, so this could be really beneficial to his lap, Will.
Yeah, here you can see, though, pole position for the time being, Sebastian Job. He's going to get himself one more lap after this one. You can see there's traffic behind him, but Sebastian Job, well, he's got himself just over 0.3 of a second advantage over Tom Ward. He heads himself towards the start-finish line, and he does himself a 1:52.3 as he heads himself back towards turn number one more time. There you can see, though, Ward has pushed off wide. That'll be his qualifying done then. It's all over. He will have to start from second place on the grid. Third place right now is Roderick Savidovic. There you can see him in that number 80 machine, working himself there right behind that driver of Sebastian Job. They head themselves down the back straight away. Here you can see, riding along board, Roderick Savidovic down into the Sega de Lego, turn number 4, turn number 5 on the racetrack. But to give you an update as well on what is going on with the driver of Graham Carroll, he's heading himself back in on the racetrack now. Rachel, good thing is he's got no traffic in this middle part of the racetrack, but he has not got a tow once we head ourselves on the exit of Yun Sao.
He hasn't. I thought he might be close enough to pick up the tow from those cars ahead of him. Just close enough to kind of keep himself out from slowing him down in the mid-sector, but might be just enough range to gain on out of Young Cow, but he won't have it. This could still be a good lap, though, from him. He's at a very quick, very clean track. Got a tow down the first straightaway down to turn 4 from Tim Adcock, so this could be a good time. I'll have to see what he does. Of course, sitting on a 1:52.1, straight to the pits. He's given up.
Yep, so Graham Carroll then not going to be able to improve on his qualifying. There you can see Sebastian Job back in on the racetrack. Tom Ward, it's all over for him. There you can see him crawling himself past the start-finish line. Savidovic coming into Yun Sao right now. We go back along board with him. Now he has got a tow ahead of him as we come down then. Just a couple of seconds to go. Checkered flag is out for qualifying. Whatever laps these drivers are on, this is going to be their last one. Savidovic bouncing himself towards the start-finish line. Will he be able to improve his best time at 1:52.163, heading himself now towards the start-finish line? He will stay on the racetrack. He gets the tow he needs down towards start-finish line, a 1:52.0. That moves him up into P2, Rachel.
It does, and a great time there from Savidovic, splitting those two championship contenders, so we know he can also win races well. That could definitely throw a spanner into the mix.
Yeah, there you can see Clark Williams. He's still got himself a couple of corners to go in qualifying. Most of these drivers now heading themselves down towards the start-finish line for it's going to be their final lap in qualifications. Here you can see them just completing his run is Abdulkir Al-Amri in the number 77 car. He's going to qualify well down the field. We've got ourselves a 41 car field here today, and say qualifying is pretty much complete. That gives us the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to run through your starting grid for tonight's event. Pole position then goes to Sebastian Job, qualifying time of a 1:51.852. Roderick Savidovic will line up alongside him on the front row of the grid. Row number 2 will be Tom Ward and Rob Kane, separated by just 15/1000th of a second. We head on back to row 3, you can see, which is Avery and Stuart Adcock, separated by just 2/1000ths of a second. Graham Carroll only 1/1000th of a second further back. And then Matthew Daniels on the outside of row number 4. Row 5 for Fahim Atinides and David Williams, with Simon Holber and Clark Williams lining up in row number 6. Row 7, Mark Mercer and Robert Plumley, Adrian Bidwell and Keith Sharp in row number 8. And then you can see Chris Simpson, Peter Cohen, row 9, Abdulkir Al-Amri and David Grunhill in the 19th and 20th places respectively. Paul Thurston, Pete Newman, P21, P22, Rich Jones and Mark O'Connor in the 23rd and 24th positions respectively. Then Tim Adcock, Graham Forrest, Darrell Taylor, Rob Marshall, Daniel Craft and James Child rounding out your top 30. Rest of qualifying times coming up on your screen. It's a packed field here today, Rachel, for the final round of the championship. Week 13 is upon us very soon, but the question is, can Sebastian Job get himself to victory lane and secure himself a championship?
Well, as we know, it's a very tough track, Will, so it's going to be very difficult to pass, but it's also going to be very drafty with those long straightaways. That means people will be able to keep up with him. He might not be able to get away as he normally does. Of course, the return of Carroll is certainly a threat that will be in Job's mind. Tom Ward will probably see that as well and be quite afraid of what will happen if he gets up to them. He's only starting in that fourth row, so I apologise. So he's definitely still within shouting distance, and one mistake from one of those drivers towards the front, one of those drivers in championship hunt, it could well be giving it to Carroll.
Yep, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome you to the final round of the championship. If you're a new member to iRacing, use promo code you see on your screen. Get yourself 3 months worth of iRacing, all the free content, the 4GT, and say promo code on your screen, PR-RaceSpot Live, to take advantage of this special offer. So then, final round of the championship, getting set to get underway here at Interlagos. The last couple of drivers now heading themselves down to the starting grid. It is out front, that driver of Sebastian Job, who leads the way. There you can see just 15 seconds until this race gets itself underway, the final round of the championship. Now all the drivers are lined up on the starting grid. Who will it be? 14 laps of racing for the final round to decide the championship. Here we'll start right now. Really good start there by Sebastian Job. A really good start also by Savinovic as the cars come down in towards one for the first time, and it looks as though it is going to be Job who leads the way, but they're all jostling for position as they come down into that first corner for the first time. Then we get a look by our aerial coverage. Savinovic holds on to second place, bit of a wiggle down through your field. You've got yourself 3 wide racing, Rachel, but it looks as though most of your field is going to get through without major incident. A little bit of banging and a car turned around at the rear end of the pack.
Yep, Tim Adcock is round. Big contact there with 6 or 7 cars caught up in that one, Will. Just going to have a quick look back and try and find out who exactly that is for you, but that number 21 car of Tim Adcock was right at the heart of this incident. He comes into the corner, and the number 36 there, that is the car of Daniel Craft. On his inside, Adcock just comes across the nose of him, gets turned around, and that involves the number 12, that involves, 14, everybody. Alan Patterson, and a lot of this field. Big mess.
Atanides, Cohen, Atherton, McWilliam, Banks, Verke, Bird, all classified on pit road for the time being. Patterson at the very rear end of the field. Out front, however, it is still Job leading the way. There you can see him as we look from the rear to the driver of Roderick Savinovic, who maintained that second place on the opening corners of this event. As you can see then, having a look back, it is Ward in that third place, Avery in P number 4, and then Carroll rounding out your top 5. But here, you get that look for the first time at this magnificent draft. And we'll go all on board with Roderick Savinovic out of Yunsao, heading themselves down towards that start-finish line again. There you can see the speed chart for Roderick Savinovic as he heads himself now up the hill. Ward is about half a second back, and the gap out front is just about nothing. And behind, you have got yourself a little bit of 2 wide racing already as they are heading themselves down towards turn 1 again. There you can see Clark Williams trying to find a way, but Mars Mercer, that's the battle for P number 11, P number 12 on the racetrack. Savinovic gets himself a little bit closer, but not quite close enough, Rachel, as they head themselves down in towards turn number 1 again.
No, it won't be close enough. We have a move on the inside back there from David Williams. That's a good run. He'll have that inside line coming to the centre S's. The front pack, though, very tight. Savinovic holding that position behind Job. Not letting him get away, of course. Draft on this initial sector in his first straightaway, well, big important factor. Spreads out in the infield, but they always seem to catch up again with that draft. So this front pack, I suspect, will stay somewhat together. Avery, the teammate there of Ward, will definitely have his back and probably try and keep Carroll behind him, just so he gives his teammate a clean fight at job.
Yeah, as you can see then, Rob Kane working himself side by side right now with Adcock. Battle for P7 PA. They're going to be side by side down into Ferradura, turn number 6. Kane looking on the inside. He's going to slot that car in right at the last moment. Adcock still alongside him as it tightens up now as you come down into turn number 8. It is mighty close racing down in your pack here, and they're still too wide. Kane on the outside now. Adcock will have the inside line down into Pinheiro, turn number 9. You can see they are all bustling for position right now. You've still got a little bit of too wide racing behind, with Chris Simpson and Robert Plumley battling along for P number 13 and P14 on the racetrack. Out front though, Sebastian Job doing what Job does better than anyone else, putting out a gap for the time being. Tom Ward, as it goes for the championship, he is currently, Rachel, about 1 second behind your race leader. Now he needs to be careful here. When he gets up behind Davidovic, he needs to get the pass done quickly. We found out over the course of this season and previous seasons that if you spend time trying to go too wide, especially in your infield, you essentially give the race away to your leader.
Exactly, and that's what Job will want to happen. He wants to see cars too wide behind him. As we see, down the inside goes Davidovic into the centre S's. He'll be clear of Job before the actual turn-in. He gets a smooth, clean pass there, doing exactly what he needs to do. Job, though, not willing to give it over yet, but I don't think he'll have anything to come back at him with. Ward looking over this fight with glee.
Yeah, and here you can see Joby's going to be right alongside potentially as they work themselves down into the Tego de Lego, turn number 4 and 5. Running along board then with that Apex Racing driver, Sebastian Job, of course, running in the IC.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. He's being smart there. He's staying behind, knowing that if he was to go too wide into turn 4 and 5, that would allow Ward the opportunity to get right alongside him down into Ferradura. Apologies for that one, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see there, still Tom Ward running himself in that 3rd place. We ride along board with him as they work themselves through turn number 9 one more time. To give you an update, by the way, we only have 1 driver still scored on pit road, although I say that Daniel Craft is coming down into pit road himself. It looks like he's going to be classified as out of the race. But moving back for your field, mighty close racing going on right now. Job putting that pressure on once again as they work themselves down into Yuan South. 3 laps out of 14 will be scored complete this time by, and here you can see your top 5 drivers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all separated by just 2 seconds on the racetrack. They head themselves towards start finish line again. Will Job try and repay the favour? He's mighty close, so ride themselves along board then with Job as he works himself down. You see he's going to try and go for that inside line immediately as they head themselves too wide down the front straight away, and Job is going to repay that favour, Rachel, and he will be back to the race lead before they get to turn number 1.
Yeah, much earlier pass there from Job, just making that easy. And, well, that blocking tactics of Avery, teamwork going on, nearly had Carroll past him. Carroll down the inside as they run down the SNRSs. Oh, very close, nearly contacting those 2 cars. He's not blocking, but Avery's definitely driving defensively. There is certainly team tactics at play here. They do not want him stirring the honeypot, Will.
Yeah, and just behind you've got yourself close racing as well between Stuart Adcock, Mark Mercer and Rob Kane. You can see they're 2 wide.
3 wide.
3 wide as they come down in towards turn number 4. And that number 28 car in the middle looking as though he's going to try and work it on the outside line. Running on board then with Mercer. He pushes a little bit wide there through turn number 5. Going on board then with that driver of Mark Mercer. He's not going to get himself alongside that driver of Williams for the time being. They're going to be 3 wide. That is a Ferradura and that 08 car there. Just for a minute, 708 car even of Rob Kane.
Contact
trying
with
to think about
Kane.
the outside. And Kane pushes wide, gets himself a little bit of contact. Get ourselves a replay of that one, Rachel.
Yeah, that was just Kane and Mercer there running through Ferradura. And Mercer's on the right line. He just tracks that little bit. There's not much room there for Kane. Kane gets a bit of tap on his wheel. No harm, no foul. They will carry on, but Kane will lose a few spots and be a little boiling under that race hood. Gonna go back further back, Will. Keith Sharp and Chris Simpson running side by side there, and Plumley. Oh, he's in the pits.
Yeah, and
I'll find out what happened to him.
There you can see Keith Sharp running himself in that 13th position for the time being, and we're just having a look there on our replay, that number 77 car as well of Abdul Akin Amri. We'll go back to live footage then, and we'll show you though, Sebastian Job is still leading the way. Gap between himself and Davidovic, well, that is 0.4 of a second. So the status quo has been returned. Sebastian Job has led all 3 laps officially. He did get past that driver Oz Davidovic before the start finish line that last time by, but Davidovic going back to the point there as they come down in towards turn number 1. Once again, Davidovic, Ward not close enough to make the pass, but you can see Job again giving him the line, Rachel, which is critically important. If he goes wide in the center rest, and that will give Ward the opportunity he needs to get alongside, as Carroll just having himself an incident. Something's happened to Graham Carroll, and Carroll's race is going to be done.
It will indeed be done, and that's not what he needed to have happen, of course. Not in the fight, but he did want to get involved in this one. Really tragic there for Graham Carroll, and yeah, he's just back in pit road. Going to try and find out exactly what happened to him there, Will. that was actually running down through the center S's himself. It was. He got past Avery in the draft, going through the center S into the center S's, I should say, just exactly like last lap before. Goes down the inside. Avery just pulls a little too tightly, clips his rear wheel. Initial contact, Avery across the grass. Avery comes back across. No, absolute passenger there on the grass. You can't control these cars. Spears into Carroll. Race over.
Yep, there you can see then a look at our super slow-mo replay brought to you by And One Design, and there is the end of the race with Graham Carroll. Of course, you see Avery there off on the grass as well. But what we've got now is Tom Ward. Something's happened. He's got himself now ahead of Sebastian Job. So we're talking about this one, and we've just missed it, Rachel. But Ward has now moved himself up into second place as far as the championship goes. This is a critical one for Tom Ward, as he's been able to get himself now ahead of Sebastian Job. There we are. We'll replay that tape a little bit further back for you. But Ward now in prime position to steal this championship away from that number 33 car.
He did indeed, and that was down into turn 4. Will coming out to center S's along the straightaway there. Big draft off the back of Savidovic and Job. He goes down the inside. Clean pass on Job. Perfect racing there. Brilliant move. Job, however, at the moment is not going to give up there. He's behind Ward right now, and he's going to go look to the inside as we approach turn 1. Tucking back in line, not ready yet. This will not be the time. I expect him to repeat exactly the same move on Ward as we head out these corners.
Yeah, down through the curve of the soul they come once again. Then turn at number 3 down that long back straightaway. It's called Retta a Pista. It is the back straightaway if you translate it literally. Here you can see Sebastian Job then right behind. So they head themselves down this back straightaway. Here's a look. Then we circle our camera around. You can see he's thinking about it, but he falls back in line. Those mind games are commencing now in your battle for the top 3. Behind, you got yourself a 3, almost 4-way battle as they come down in towards turn number 4, and you can see that number 52 car, Stuart Adcock, is wounded in the middle of that one. He has to fall behind, but you got yourself side-by-side still with Chris Simpson and the driver of, David Williams. They remain side-by-side. No front wing on Williams' car. There'll be 2 wides. They head themselves up through Ferradura once again. Williams on the inside line, and it looks like he is just going to sneak past him behind the 52 car, making a little bit of contact there with Simpson. He falls back a couple of attempts to a second, Rach.
Yeah, that 52 car, sorry, of Adcock, he just clips the back of him. Oh, got a big wobble there from Simpson. He'll lose some time. That's allowing Adcock back onto the back of that car. Adcock, though, yeah, just no front wing, bit of understeer from that corner, Will. He just drifted out and clipped the wheel of Simpson, so bit awkward there. Just, yeah, he could do with a new wing. He doesn't want to give it up right now. He's still got some reasonable times, but he's really going to need that front wing repaired.
Yeah, here you can see then Job and Ward, they continue it along. So just have a look then at our aerial coverage. This is up towards the start-finish line. Once again, you can see that the chicane they use for club racing. But Job, the mind games are going on. But of course, with Vidovic, he is starting to pull away. Job's going to look to the outside. So let themselves down in towards turn number 1. It's going to be side by side. These are the 2 people battling for the championship. Tom Ward on the inside line, Sebastian Job on the outside. And Job will just fall into line once again. But the thing is, Ward, he probably wants to put himself a little bit of a cushion right now between himself and Job. The way he can do that, well, that's trying to get himself past. Roderick Davidovic is right on board of him, and Job's looking down to the inside through the curve of the soul, immediately taking that inside line as they work themselves down that back straightaway once again. And it looks as though again, Rachel, he is going to fall in behind, although Ward is now losing time to Davidovic as he's playing a defensive game.
Yeah, the defending is really going to let Savidovic run away with this one, and he doesn't care. He's not in the fight, but he will certainly be very happy taking a win if he can get it. These 2 scrap away, it'll be his race to lose, but Ward and Joe very much playing the tactical dance right now. The Ward defensive, no, but he's probing. He's not really trying to make a pass here. He's just lining up opportunities, checking the car's closing rates at where he can take the pass. He wants to save this for the last lap, of course, and he will make that move. Right now, he's sizing him up, he's getting him used to seeing his car popping out, exiting the corners, just so Ward doesn't quite know when he's going to do it for real.
We just saw that 3-wide situation. Keith Sharp almost having a huge impact as you saw one of those drivers just pushing wide on the exit of turn 5, and you got yourself 3 wide in the run down into Ferradura. They were 2 wide, 2 deep as they actually came down into the corner. Keith Sharp able to avoid near disaster in that number 32 car. As you can see then a look, and Sharp pushing wide there. That's going to lose him a position to the number 31 car of Paul Ferguson as they work themselves out of Bicatapato down through Mugello once again. Turn number 11 halfway this time by, and a look then, your biggest movers and shakers in the race so far. The biggest one, Rachel, Mark Mercer up 8 positions since this race got underway.
Yeah, qualified 13th. Well, you know he's a fast driver. Just not really had the luck in qualifying. Of course, open qualifying, it's about finding a gap as much as it is being fast. And you can often see a lot of fast drivers out of position. He's one of them, so great moving then from him. Also got another one, Pete Newman. He started 22nd, Will. He's running in 13th now.
Yeah, indeed so. So as you have a look at Mark Mercer's stats, as you see the cars working themselves down through turn number 3, down the back straight away again, and here you can see your top 3 drivers, so they work themselves down, and Joby's going to think about making a move this time by, he just ducks out to the outside, so to the inside, and then tucks back into line once again. Those mind games are going to be critical, and what's happening here is what we've seen all season long, Rachel. These drivers planning their moves. Ward, as I said before, needs to try and find a way, I think, of closing up to the rear of Vidovic. It doesn't matter if he gets passed by Job right now. The last thing he wants to be is that second car in line coming down to the white flag.
Yeah, certainly, although that draft is actually helping him defend against Job Will. He's just far enough back that he has a closing range. That means he's faster than he would be as a solo car. And if he can just keep this sort of distance, he can be fast enough that Job can't use that overspeed to full effect.
Yeah, as you can see, running along board with Chris Simpson on number 15 car. David Williams just ahead of him in that number 35 machine. So they work themselves through Pinheiro once again, turn number 9, down toward the Bico de Bato, known as Duckbill Corner, as they are working themselves at the rear end of the top 10. Just ahead, Matthew Daniels putting that pressure right now on Mark Mercer. Battle for the last spot in the top 5. Your top 5, as it stands, it is Davidovic. There you can see him leading the way. Job putting that pressure on once again over Tom Ward. Ward in second, Job in third, Avery fourth. Mercer running at your top 5. Running along board then with Sebastian Job as they head themselves down towards start finish time. Have a look at the overspeed then for Job, and here you can see confirmation. It's just about a kilometre an hour more, but here you can see Ward all of a sudden. He's had enough. They're going to go 3 wide potentially down in towards turn number 1. Ward goes to the point for the time being as they work themselves down in towards turn number 1. It's going to be... well, there you can see, it's going to be Ward leading the way. Davidovic will hold on to second, and then Job falls down into the third position. And the important thing is there, Rachel, in that manoeuvre, Ward is able to put half a second over Davidovic. Now, you'll see you'll see Job being very aggressive over the rear of Davidovic. They head themselves down into turn 4, but he's not quite close enough. This will have to be a very late pass by him, and he stays in line for the time being.
It will be. This is exactly what Tom Ward needed, of course. Well, he's got that gap. He got past Davidovic. He doesn't have to worry about being behind on the car now. He can put his foot to that floor and drive his heart out. And of course, now he has a buffer between himself and Job, so job is twice as hard for Sebastian Job.
Yeah, as here you can see as they work themselves down in towards the centre S. So having a look at our replay there, you can see Job, the one thing he didn't want to do is be hung out to dry in that outside line down into the centre S. Davidovic messed up the corner, but the thing is, Job wasn't in the right place to get himself back into line. Ward, the gap has immediately come down. It is a third of a second right now between himself and Davidovic as they work themselves then through turn number 10 one more time. Working ourselves right now on lap number 9, the back end of lap number 9 out of 14. Down in the pack, by the way, you still get yourself a little bit of 2 wide racing. This is between Rich Jones even, and Darryl Taylor, battle for P16, P number 17, as they have been side by side for pretty much this entire lap right now. Here you can see they stay 2 wide, so they head themselves down into Bico de Pato, and you can see that number 79 car of Jones is going to get himself ahead. But here you can see that battle out front. We'll go back to it, as they're going to be 2 wide potentially again. Here you can see Davidovic trying to put that pressure on Tom Ward once again. Tom Ward takes the defensive line. They're going to go 3 wide. Sebastian Job thinking about going to the middle. Wait until the last second. Will he duck down to the inside? The answer to that question is going to be no. It is going to be Davidovic trying the outside line down into a turn number 1. And Ward is just going to let him out that position. But this is now going to give Job the opportunity to get himself a good run on the exit of the corner. And you can see there is a look from the rear of your new race leader once again, Roderick Davidovic. He's led 4 laps here today. And you can see Ward is trying to hold that defensive line down to the inside. Job on the outside. They head themselves down towards turn number 4 once again. Rachel, 4.5 laps left of the season, and this one is far from over as Job thinks about looking to the outside.
He does. Davidovic is not happy playing second fiddle to our championship contenders. He wants this win, possibly more than they do. This could well be a Button 2012 Interlagos victory, and no one remembers who won the race, but they know about this fight because those two are going at it tooth and nail. This is probably one of the most aggressive fights I've seen in these cars all season long. 2 drivers, both can win this championship. It will be whoever crosses the line first of the 2 of them. It's that simple. This is literally it. 2 cars, 1 track.
And Job, you can see him there. He made the move down into Ferradura, is able to get himself ahead of Tom Ward. But 4 laps of this race to go. We have seen all season long that it can very easily go down to the final corner of the final lap. And because of the fact that the start-finish line, Rachel, is so far down after the exit of Yunsao, we saw it earlier on in the race. Potentially, Job showed his hand too early because of the fact that you know that you can get past before you hit that start-finish line. And now I fully expect to see Job to try and put that buffer over Savinovic as they head themselves down in towards 1 once again.
They are, and of course now he will have that gap and he'll try and pull away, leaving Ward out to dry. Not probably going to happen because Ward's still in a good position right now, and if Job tries to get that position again and have a Savinovic between himself and Ward, his rival, he will let them gain up. As we see here, Ward right back up on behind them. He will not be thrown away that easily, of course. He's still in this fight, and he will now repeat exactly what Job was doing for so many laps, looking for a weak spot and making his move.
Yeah, so there you can see then your top 3 drivers, they work themselves on the exit of the corner. Here you can see a look then from our aerial coverage. We have a look at Q Sharp battling with Al Amri, and this is a battle for P number 14, P number 15, but we go back and have a look then. 3 drivers separated by just absolutely nothing. Ward down to the inside there, going to try and get himself past Job, so they head themselves down into Desega de Lego. They are too wide, they are mighty close on the exit of the corner. Now Job will have the inside line as they head themselves through towards Ferradura once again, riding on board with Tom Ward. He's not going to be able to make that outside line work. He's going to fall back into line for the time being. Job maintains that second place. 3.5 laps to go here in the final round of the championship. Behind here you can see a little bit of 2-wide racing going on between Simpson and Williams as they head themselves, and Simpson still struggling to find a way past that Ferrari car of Williams as they come down into that turn number 8 corner once again. And well, we've got some great racing going on all the way through our field, Rachel, and this is a 3-horse battle down in your mid-pack between Williams, Simpson and Adcock.
It certainly is, and those guys are not exactly shy of fighting. In a moment, of course, we know that Williams has that point. Simpson, he's been in second for quite a bit of that. No wing still on the front of Adcock. In fact, not just no wing, big hole in the front of his nose cone. That means, of course, lots of drag on that car. Very detrimental on these big straightaways, but mostly turned in for the corners. This car gets very understeery wheel without a front wing on it, and it can be a real pain for him. Doing a brilliant job holding on, though. 10th place with no front wing. In this league, that's close to a miracle.
Yeah, so you can see them working themselves towards the start finish line once again. Ward, though, putting that pressure back on Job down into the centre as they comes a big late pass there by Tom Ward. They'll be side by side through the corner. A little bit of contact between the two of them, but they carry on. Ward pushing wide. Now, this could be the championship over for Tom Ward. He does get himself back into line, but the important thing is he's currently half a second back with Sebastian Job. The gap between Job and Savinovic is also right now half a second. You can see Job trying to just break that draft. He knows that it's now advantage to him as they come down in towards turn number 4 once again. But that, Rachel, very easily could have been the championship over for Tom Ward as he's now 7 tenths of a second behind Job in that battle for P number 2.
He is. He has to hope that Job and Savinovic fight hard and let him gain back up again. Well, this infield section, Ward's been very strong in, so he really could have an opportunity to gain back up, but this is critical. He has to get back there. We have 2 laps remaining at the stripe, so this is go time for Tom Ward.
Here you can see then riding along board with Stuart Adcock. As you can see, he's got that number 15 car. Simpson ahead of him through Ferradura. They stay too wide as they head themselves down in towards turn number 8. And it does look as though that we are going to get Adcock just going past for the time being. There you can see confirmation up into P number 9, despite the fact he has that damage. Now, a look back, it looks like it might all be over for Tom Ward here. As you can see, the gap out front is 7 tenths of a second. He needs to have a perfect exit from Yun Sao, and he's just pushing a little bit too hard. There'll be 2 laps to go this time by. The gap is 8 tenths of a second. Job will have the overspeed over Savinovic. Now, this could very easily come down to what is going to happen down in towards turn number 1. As you can see, Job is looking for that pass, looking for that race lead side by side as they head themselves down in towards turn number 1. And Savinovic is taking that inside defensive line. Now, that actually could very easily be a huge help to Ward. The gap is back down to half a second, but now all of a sudden, Rachel, Job has that buffer we've been talking about all race long.
He does, but we know it's not permanent, Will, of course. That was reversed only a few laps ago. Ward on the pole and, well, Savinovic in the middle. I say that on the pole because, well, he is Polish, but that's not what I was talking about. Either way, Job in front of the pole. How's that? Tom Ward behind at the moment. He's dropped back quite a bit, but he will gain that up again, of course. And, well, this lap is very difficult in this infield sector, so lots to be had here. Like we said, Savidovic has nothing to lose here. He will fight. He wants this win. That can only benefit Ward. If he can get back up into the mix of this, he can take that position.
Yes, we're having a look now on board with Roderick Savidovic. A lap and a half to go as they work themselves down in towards turn number 8 once again. The gap between Savidovic and Ward is down to 0.3 of a second. It's going to have to be brave now for Ward if he's going to get the championship. He'll have to pass himself 2 cars in the space of a lap and a half. They head themselves now down into turn number 10 for the penultimate time. Here we are, then, ladies and gentlemen, the final 3.5 miles of the championship. And it is currently Job leading from Savidovic and Ward from Avery. Here is a look then at your field as we have a look then your biggest movers and shakers in the race. Mercer up the most places inside your top 10. Simpson up into 9th place. He's up 8 positions as well. But here's what the action's going to be. Can Ward do anything over Savidovic? Can Savidovic do anything over Job? Heading themselves down towards the white flag, this time by Job is in the catbird seat, but Savidovic is right there behind him as they head themselves down. You can see Job already trying to break that draft. He's already made 1 move, he's made 2 moves, just doing everything he can, but Savidovic is coming. White flag out this time by 1 more lap to go. Savidovic looking down to the inside. That is all the opportunity that Tom Ward needs, because now again, Job once again being very cautious down in towards turn 1, allowing Savidovic to take the corner, but this time means that Ward will be back in the catbird seat, but Job's going to have another go. He's going to look to the outside potentially as they head themselves. He's going to go all the way, all 4 wheels there onto that curbing. He knows he needs to get this corner. They'll be side by side as they head themselves down the back straight away. Ward is going to put his car in the mix there as well. They're going to potentially go 3 wide, but no, Ward isn't close enough there. He's going to try and get himself around Savidovic. Savidovic on the outside time. He'll have the inside line to Ferradura. If they were able to stay side by side, they are able to stay side by side. Now, if you're Tom Ward, you try and put that car to the inside, but he's boxed in there as they head themselves down into Ferradura. Savidovic will have the inside line into the corner. This could well push Sebastian Job wide, and this is all the opportunity Tom Ward needs. Half a lap to go. Anything can still happen, and Savidovic still going 2 wide there with Job. Half a lap of the championship to go, and Job back down to the inside as they work themselves through Pinheiro right about now. Here you can see then, it's Job leading, and it looks as though that Ward can't get the move made into Mica de Pato, turn number 10. So it is Sebastian Job now, just 3 corners away from taking the championship, and it looks as though there's nothing Tom Ward can do short of a miracle as they head themselves down in towards Yunsao 1 more time. Here you can see Sebastian Job heading himself out of the final corner. It doesn't matter if Savidovic is going to get himself past. The important thing is if Tom Ward's had himself an incident, so Tom Ward slow there through Yunsao. That means they head themselves towards the start finish line. It will be Sebastian Job who will just about be able to claim victory, although Savidovic is going to look to the outside, side by side, photo finish. It doesn't matter. Savidovic will get the win, and it's going to be at the line. Job by 33 1,000ths of a second. We'll get confirmation in a moment. Either way, Rachel, Job is your champion.
He is, and what a drive from the champion, of course. That was an amazing race. All 3 of those front cars, I know we focused on them a lot because it was a championship fight, but what a battle it was. 3 cars, not 1 quarter given the whole race, Will. That was amazing.
Yeah, we'll get ourselves another look at that one then. As you can see, they're heading themselves towards the start-finish line, riding this one on board with Sebastian Job. As you can see, we slow it down as they head themselves to the start-finish line. It was as close as this as they come to the stripe. Mighty, mighty close. Savidovic will get the win, but it doesn't matter. Sebastian Job will claim the championship. Savidovic wins. Job 2nd place. That is all he needs to do, and confirmation of your final race results, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Roderick Savidovic winning by 33 1,000ths of a second from Sebastian Job, and then Tom Ward coming home in 3rd, Richard Avery in 4th, Mark Mercer in the 5th position, Rob Keynes, Matthew Daniels, David Williams, Chris Simpson and Stuart Adcock rounding out your top 10. Heading on back, Pete Newman 11th, Mark O'Connell 12th, David Grunnell 13th, Al Amri in 14th, Keith Sharp, Darryl Taylor, Rich Jones, Paul Thurston, Graham Forrest and Simon Maltby rounding out your top 20. Rest of the race results coming up on your screen. As you can see that we had ourselves a total of 29 finishers. And a couple of people out of the race here today, but still a big field and a very low attrition rate overall. We'll step aside for just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after this very brief message. You're watching RaceSpotTV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to post-race coverage here on RaceSpotTV. Your race winner, Roger Kazvidovic, stood by with Rachel Whiteford.
Well, I'm here with Roger Kazvidovic. You came home today in the position that mattered. You were first, but a bit like Jenson Button in 2012, you aren't the story of the race. The story of the race was the fight between Ward and Job. Tell me, how did it feel being involved at the front, knowing there was a championship fight on the line, and still going for the win?
Well, like I said, I really wasn't too sure how I supposed to approach it, but we are racing for the 12 weeks, and every race counts towards the championship, so I simply decided to do my own race and let the guys race around it, and I try to be as neutral in this fight as possible. But yeah, obviously I couldn't avoid getting involved if I wouldn't race, so I decided to go for a race. And that's how we ended up this season.
Well, of course, you had an exciting race this evening, and you were at the heart of the battle here, but your own race, of course. This is a fight, of course, you had between yourself and Mark Mercer for third place in the championship, and, of course, with this result, you will lock that out. Do you think that perhaps this has been improvement over last season, and perhaps this season coming, you'll be able to bring the fight to the likes of Ward and Job?
Well, Sepp was really excellent and really fast throughout the whole season. Props to Tom that he managed to outrace him a couple of times in one-to-one fight. But yeah, Sepp was probably a bit quicker, especially during the qualifying. But yeah, they had really excellent battle throughout the whole season.
Well, of course, that's Roger Kazvidovic. He came home today in first. He started in the front row in second place. Well, brilliant race.
Indeed, so we're going to get a chance to have a chat with a driver who didn't do so well. However, Matthew Daniels finishing down the field here today, and unfortunately, Matt, not the day you would have wanted.
I wouldn't know about that. That I did well enough by my perspective. I just wanted to have a decent finish so that I could secure fifth in the championship, and that's what I managed to do.
Another season is over. We've got another season, of course, starting in just a couple of weeks' time. Fifth place this time around, hoping to get a little bit further up next season.
Hopefully.
There we are, ladies. Go on, carry on.
No, I'm done.
Matthew Daniels, ladies and gentlemen, finishing fifth place in the championship. Don't forget, the Club UK and Ireland Skip Barber Racing School Series is live all year long here on RaceSpotTV. We've got plenty of action coming your way. It's a packed week here on RaceSpotTV. Champions of the Future returns tomorrow. On Wednesday, you get your first look at Monza. And then on Thursday, we have ourselves 60 minutes of Monza. Then Saturday, the second round of the ISN.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series, and then also the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. And then finally, on Sunday, we have ourselves the 6 hours of Road Atlanta, the final round of the Neo Endurance Series. In the interim, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a RaceSpotTV presentation of the final round of the 2015 Season 1 Club UK and Ireland Championship for myself, Will Vincent and Rachel Whiteford. We shall talk to you next time. Bye-bye.